From battling through adversity to chasing his dream job at TSN, Jesse Pollock has always led with passion, grit, and unstoppable belief in himself. He's a proud Winnipegger, a BarDown star, and the voice that captures what it means to be a true hockey fan. Today, we dive into the journey behind the guy that proves that staying positive and being yourself can take you all the way to the top. So please welcome today my special guest, the one and only Jesse Pollock. Jesse.
Caesar, someone cutting onions in here? That was quite the introduction, man. Holy smokes, that was great.
Bro, I love you, man.
You're the
You
man.
are such an awesome content creator. I love your stuff on TikTok. It's such a pleasure to finally meet you, man.
Caesar, likewise, man. I appreciate that. And you have done just an incredible job. Just man, I've been following you a lot through this playoff run, and specifically through that Leafs Panthers series. And I was
Hey,
absolutely cheering for you.
how about we give it to Busy Boy a little bit here?
Dude.
Busy Boy.
So good, man. So good. You've done an amazing job, Caesar. You are truly the face of Panthers fans. Like, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
And you wear your heart on your sleeve. I'm even like looking at your set right now, man. You've of course you got the patch with the Panthers logo on the bottom. You've got
I
all
got
your gear.
I got little Martian behind me.
And you know what, man? It's honestly so great. Like I know you and I have talked about this, just how far the Panthers organization has come, and
Right.
like really instilling a lot of belief and
I like
passion in
that.
in the entire fan base. And I'm just really happy for you, man. Like you must just be one of the happiest guys in the world. You guys win the cup last year, back in the cup this year. Pretty amazing.
It's amazing journey, and I'm still pinching myself that I'm going to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row, and that we're in it for 3 years in a row. Right? It's been an amazing journey. I'm enjoying every bit of it, and shout out to all the fans. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support. I
Of
really
course.
genuinely appreciate it. Because I couldn't have done this with anybody else. That support, it just motivates you to keep doing it, right? To keep inspiring others, to keep grinding and doing what you love most.
100%, man. I think you're definitely leading by example for the entire Panthers fan base, all hockey fans, because man, like you love the Panthers and hockey, and it's very easy to see that, and it's fun to see that, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. So let's kind of get started here. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, Jesse, and your upbringing.
So I'm actually back home right now. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, um, which if any, I know everyone knows the Jets, but for all of the American viewers here, if they don't know where Winnipeg is, it's actually right in the center of Canada. It's freezing cold here in the winters, which I actually really think what is partially what makes the people here so amazing and great, because we have cold winters. Everyone just gets through them. Everyone's still very friendly. It's an amazing thing. Um, and yeah, I moved to Toronto to go to school at Toronto Metropolitan University when I was 20, and I've been there ever since. I love living in Toronto now, but I'm incredibly proud to be from Winnipeg, and I'm very lucky that my work allows me to come back to Winnipeg quite a bit for things like the Stanley Cup playoffs. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Let's take a look at this picture. Oh, I'm kind of curious too, Jesse. You're a Winnipeg fan, but you're wearing here a Toronto Maple Leafs shirt.
Okay.
What's the deal here?
I, I I can explain, and I sent you this one, Caesar, just
That's
to hear
like
your
that's like
reaction to
me
me.
being a Cowboy fan and wearing a like Redskins jersey or a Giants jersey.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man. So pretty much in Winnipeg, we didn't have a team during my childhood, right? So you're kind of just watching every team. You're more just like a fan of the league. And my brother was wearing a Montreal Canadiens hat in that photo because my mom is from Montreal. So I think growing up, we kind of were just wearing all different kinds of teams. Me and my brothers loved the NHL, and a part of me almost feels as though I don't know if like robbed is necessarily the right word, but a lot of my friends lived in Toronto. They grew up cheering for the Leafs, or like I have friends in Montreal. They grew up cheering for the Habs, and I didn't really have a hometown team to cheer for. So when the Jets came back to Winnipeg, I can honestly say it was one of the greatest days of my life. I remember it very clearly, like what happened, the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I know that picture is just a pretty funny one.
I'm sure your brothers give you a lot of crap for it, don't they?
They do, man. Of course, yeah. It's never easy with those guys.
So let's kind of talk about are these your brothers here?
They are. They are. Yeah.
Cool. And who are they? Like, how have they been an impact to you in your life?
That's a great question. So my brother that's a Dwayne Bowe Chiefs jersey. That's my brother Ethan, and I don't know if my brother's wearing like a Calvin Johnson jersey there. I don't know that is, but that's my brother
It looks like a
Jaden.
Lions jersey. Yeah, Calvin Johnson. Nice.
I didn't even know he owned one of those, but until I remembered finding this picture. This was actually a picture from an NFL game that took place in Winnipeg between the Raiders and the Packers, and there was an issue with the field, and they had to actually close the field with pylons. It was so bizarre, man. It's hard to explain, but it was very funny. Yeah, my brothers are my best friends. I'm the middle child. They, we grew up watching sports together. Really, all my love for sports comes from my brothers and my dad. We would get together all the time, every day, watching sports. Like it was just constant. It's still the same thing. We've in our group chats, we're constantly talking about sports, and that's such a great thing with my job is that I get to, for what I do for work, I get to share that with my brothers and my dad, and that's really special for me. And we all love the Jets equally. I was at that game 7 between the Jets and the Blues with my little brother Jaden, and
Such a heartbreaker.
oh well, no, Game 7 was great. Game 6 was the
Oh,
heartbreaker.
okay, yeah, Game 7. Okay, against the
Yeah.
Blues, right? Yeah.
Yes, and that was maybe the greatest moment of my life.
Okay.
and to have experienced that with Jaden was like really really special. But yeah, my brothers are everything to me. I'm a very family oriented guy. I'm the only person in my family who doesn't live in Winnipeg, so
Okay.
as soon as I come back to Winnipeg, we're doing the same things here, going for food together, watching sports, playing Nintendo 64, because we never really moved on to the other systems. We were always N64 people.
Same
And yeah,
here. I love that. What was your favorite game?
okay, that's actually a great question, Caesar. There are a lot of games that my brothers and I grew up loving. Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball is probably
Such a classic.
unbelievable game. Just with the big circles, you get like Ken Griffey up, or
Oh,
Frank Thomas comes up. You're like, all right, move back outfield. So we love that. We love playing NFL Blitz, Super Smash Bros. My little brother was so good at Zelda and the Ocarina of Times. We used to just like watch him play that. But right now, at this very specific moment, we are very dialed into Mario Golf.
oh, okay.
Man, I'm telling you, C's, I'm telling
Okay.
you, it is low key one of the best Nintendo games ever. And I think that like Mario Kart, we also love Mario Kart, but there's just something peaceful about Mario Golf. You're dialing up the links, you're having a great time with the lads. It's awesome. Mario Tennis is also fun. I could go on and on, man. We just love N64.
Nice. You guys post any like friendly wagers against each other?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I feel like we've played NFL Blitz for money, and that's when it gets a little intense. Because NFL Blitz is such a crazy game. What's your
Oh,
favorite game, C's?
I loved NFL Blitz. NFL
Yeah,
Blitz was probably one of my all-time favorites. Um, that's probably yeah, because I'm a big football guy. So
yeah.
that one, I don't remember the name of it. It's this racing game. It came out when N64 came out. Dang, I don't remember the name. If you know chat, definitely drop the name down below.
Yes. Oh
but
yeah.
but yeah, no, I grew up playing a lot of video games like you, just because with my surgeries and stuff like that. So since I wasn't able to go out a lot most of the time, or if I had a broken bone, I would always like sit there and just binge on playing video games and stuff like that. So definitely great times with friends and family for
The
sure.
best, man. The
It
best. The best
is.
memories.
So here's a picture here of you playing hockey. How has hockey impacted your life growing up?
Oh my goodness. Um, it's weird. I almost get emotional. Talk like it is. It sounds so lame.
No,
But man, like hockey is really my entire life. Like I played a lot of hockey as a kid. I was never someone who like thought he was going to go to the NHL or anything. And I played with a lot of people whose parents I think really had a strong belief, and not for the wrong reasons. Like I played with a lot of good hockey players growing up. I played in Winnipeg's AAA system, so I was playing hockey. Like I think there was 1 month that I played. There was 1 month that I played
the
20,
legend.
the legend himself. There was 1 month that I played 28 days of 30 days in a month. And I just, hockey's really where I felt comfortable and made my best friends. And it was really just I'm a very energetic person, and it's always been a great way for me to channel my energy. And when I'm not channeling it on the actual ice in my beer league games twice a week, I'm most, I mean, obviously most regularly channeling it through my work. And I just feel so unbelievably blessed and fortunate to be able to make a living out of working in hockey. It's truly the greatest thing in the world. I've considered myself very lucky and just fortunate. I never take a day for granted working in hockey. Being a hockey fan, being a Jets fan, and working for BarDown, man, has just been like the greatest thing I could ask for in my life. I work for a boss who has great vision, and he allows me and the other people on our team to really channel our creativity in an amazing way. And I'm grateful for him and the opportunity that he has given me. And I know people on our team are very grateful for the opportunity that he provides us with. And I'm just grateful to work with a very awesome team at BarDown, like really good people who have helped make BarDown what it is. I know for me personally, with my, as I've grown my own personality, I could
Yeah.
not have done that without the help of my coworkers. Like there are so many people that have made that possible. So hockey's amazing, man. It's a great sport. I'm really glad to see that it's growing in the United States right now. I'm really glad to see that it's growing in Florida. I think it's amazing that the Panthers are going to be hosting a Winter Classic next year. Like, who would have thought that 5 years ago, honestly?
Dude,
Um, so,
it's
yeah,
been insane, and I actually got tickets with a couple of buddies of mine and my friend Shauna. We're
good
actually
for
going
you.
to go to the Winter Classic, so that's going to be exciting to be in Marlins Park, being able to experience it here in Florida. I'm excited for it. That the atmosphere leading up to that day is going to be insane. Um, I
It's
got
going to be
to
nuts.
I got to experience the NHL All Star. Now that was pretty cool. Like the activities before the event itself, those were awesome.
Yeah.
Just the NHL does a great job of getting people that don't know hockey to experience it, right? And I think that's one of the great things about the league that they do is they continue to get people to learn more about the sport and because obviously hockey's not the number one sport here in the U.S., but it's starting to get bigger and big every time. So
And
just get
Caesar, honestly, like I think the American hockey market needs fans like you to help promote the game. And you do such a
thank
great
you.
job of it, man. Like I'm really serious when I say that, dude. Like you are so passionate about the team, and like people, I think really like have your back and follow you, man, because you really exert your energy in an amazing way for the team and the league, specifically in the States.
Thank you. And I couldn't have done this without my friends too. I've learned a lot from them as well. Shout out to the Cats and Rats podcast. They brought me on board, and we do content every day on the game. So I'm always telling people, if you guys want to learn more about the team, you want to learn about the plays, come on, hop on, join us. We're always giving good information, trying to get people informed here. So, and that's my thing with what I'm doing now. I want people to know what hockey is. The ins and outs of it, and my passion, and just like your passion with hockey gets people to jump on board, right? And if you don't know about it, then you kind of just follow along with the people that you love following. And Kelly,
Exactly.
she just started following hockey 3 years ago, and she knows a lot. I'm so proud of her, and a good friend of mine, Victoria, too. So it's good to see that we're doing a great thing for our community, getting the awareness out there.
100%, man. Completely agree. And I know in Florida, especially, it's going to just like keep rising and rising and rising and rising. So,
Right.
I'm excited to see where it goes, man. I actually had the opportunity to meet some Panthers people while I was at the Cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met. Is it Katie Engles?
Katie Engles, she is
Yeah.
awesome. Great person. Her and Goldstein work for the Scripps Network here in Florida. So they do a great job pre-game and post-games.
Goldstein's so good too. Yeah, Katie was so nice. Like, really had a nice time chatting with her at the during the games. Goldstein is like unbelievable at what he does, man. I think he's one of the best in the business, like no question.
His energy. Let's go home, baby. That's my
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Your energy on social media on BarDown videos is next level. How do you find your voice and turn that into legit media career?
It's a great question. I've always been passionate about sports. And what people don't know about BarDown is that once upon a time, it was actually just a website, and we would run the website, and we run all of TSN's. And so for some of the American listeners who don't know what TSN is, it's essentially the ESPN equivalency. In Canada, ESPN is actually like a part owner of TSN to a small degree, I believe. So yeah, BarDown is a part of TSN, the broadcasting network, and we just started making videos, credit to my coworkers, Daniel Zakchevsky, and I believe my coworker at the time, Corwin, was also him. They talked with my boss, Dave Crixt, about creating, I think my friend Sam Glishman as well, but this idea of creating these hockey quizzes. And that's what people really know BarDown for, is the quizzes. I actually won the last quiz. Spoiler alert! First time in a long time, so to say.
Nice.
And that's, I think, where we were really first able to, show what we're all about as personalities. I think my boss kind of saw what, like, the direction that YouTube was going in, and content creation specifically, in sports as well. And he said, let's get this going in hockey. So that's really where it started. And then from there, we kind of just opened up our umbrella of what we could do as far as hockey related content goes. And I'm sure you feel the same way, C's, but
Yeah.
I just don't really. I stopped really. I do care about what other people think about me, because I'm conscious about people thinking about whether or not I'm morally a good person. Like,
Right.
do I morally make the right decisions? Am I presenting myself in a way that people can consume me, and that I'm not offending anyone? But I don't. But I don't care about haters anymore, because as many haters as there are, and I have a
You're always
lot.
going to have those.
Yeah, and I have a lot of haters, and people have their
Oh, we
reasons.
know.
And
We know.
what gave it away, man? That's so funny. But you know what, man? Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, screw the haters, because I have a lot of people that also support me. I'm very lucky, and I know that the people who support me are more morally sound people than the haters who actually feel the need to take time out of their day to write vicious things about me. I mean, what kind of weird losers do that, man? It's just
it's insane.
It's ridiculous, dude. It's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
And honestly, I've become accustomed to just ignoring the haters, and I kind of use it as fuel. I think Brad Marchand said it best. They motivate me to keep doing and being the personality that I am. Right. Throughout our lives, we've been called short and things like that. And the comments, it's insane. The comments I've gotten from Toronto fans, not all Toronto fans, but some of the Toronto fans. But
no, they're pretty bad, Leafs fans. Like, they are some of the most vicious, worst fans in all of sports, dude.
But
brutal.
Edmonton's not that far behind either. So I've been getting some pretty crazy stuff. But honestly, it doesn't bother me. I've been through so much more throughout my life.
Exactly.
That just fuels me to keep doing what I'm doing. And I just, I just brush it aside and, keep moving on. Because at the end of the day, I'm still here doing what I'm doing and what I love most. Right?
100%.
And same with you.
Exactly, man. And you know what, Caesar? Like, this hockey content creator community is not that big. And it's important to know, man, that like, people are going to be saying mean stuff to you, and I'll have your back, man. And like, people will be saying mean stuff to me. Like, behind all this stuff, you and I can have our own conversations about it
Yep.
and be like, man, screw these guys. Like, it's
And it's
ridiculous.
crazy
Yeah.
too because I think the amount of more support that we've gotten, both of us, from other people, like I've gotten signed autograph hockey cards, letters from fans, private messages from random people saying, "Man, you inspire me. Keep doing those videos. You keep us hyped. You're the face of the Panthers. Thank you, Caesar." And I'm sure you've gotten those messages as well, right, Jesse?
100%, man. Like, as many, the real place where you're going to see, I was actually talking about this with my friends last night. There's such a loud mob like mentality on social media, and that's where you're going to see most of the criticism. But man, like, when you go out, like, I'm very fortunate when I go out on the street in Toronto, most people are coming up to me and they're like wanting to dab it up, and they're like, man, I really like love the content that you and the BarDown team make. And the majority of people, I think, are actually good people who like us. They're just not the ones who choose to actually go on a platform like X, like a loser, and just put other people down, man. Dude, there are people in Winnipeg, like Jets fans, who turn against me. It's like, I'm sorry, the Jets, who are a team that has struggled with attendance issues this year, need probably as much love as they can get. I'm out here in the trenches, like, making content about the Jets, taking so much crap from other fans. And I have Jets fans who will come at me. Very similar to Biz. Like, Leafs fans go at Biz. It's like, what are these people doing? Like, how miserable are you? Like, just
It's
miserable people,
ridiculous,
man.
right? And shout out to Biz, like all like in all seriousness, he's one of the most genuine person I've ever met. Like
Yeah.
for him to like use his platform to help me and share my story is unbelievable. And I couldn't have done it with him. Spitting Chicklets, Ryan Whitney, all those guys, they are second to none. And Canadian Oldie and I have become like best friends now. We talk every day. Like he calls me every day. So like
That's awesome.
genuinely, those people you want to have behind you, and you want to support them as well, and you want to have their back. But that goes to show like that hockey is so much like more than just like the sport, and more than just winning and losing. It brings us closer together, and and that's what I love about the sport, right?
100%, man. It's a lot about community, and yeah, Biz is a great guy, man. Like, Biz is great for hockey. He promotes hockey in an amazing way. He's fun, and like, if people have like if Leafs fans are gonna have a problem with Biz showing his support for the Leafs, like, you're so miserable and you're such an idiot. It's like, this guy is like he's taking so much from other fans for what he says
Right?
about the Leafs. It's like, oh man, it drives me crazy. But
No, it
you know
does.
what? Yeah,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
ridiculous, man. It's like, and yeah, like, shout out to Biz. Obviously, sees for like what you just alluded to. Like, it's great, and you're right. It just shows that hockey's a great community. There are really good people in the hockey community. So yeah.
No, for sure. So between dressing wild during stunts and pushing boundaries, what's the line you won't cross on camera?
So that is something I'm very conscientious of. You know, I try not to like really put other people down too much when I make content. It's just, I think that's a line that we all kind of establish at BarDown. It's more, we don't like too much. Sometimes I'll have my slips. Don't get me wrong. Like, there will be a hater on Twitter, and I've just had enough, and I need to respond and be like, you got to shut the hell up. Um, but as far as like fun content goes, I don't really swear too much, but I don't know, man. Like, there's not really a line that I think it's hard to think of one on the spot, because I think that what has helped me have success, and the whole BarDown team for that matter, is that, again, it's talking about like that moral compass thing, and kind of knowing the line. Um, but look, man,
Ultimately,
my
you're being yourself, right? And you're
yeah,
doing what you
exactly.
think is is what you think is gonna help, the brand, right?
Yeah,
Or even like you can't, like you said, you can't focus and worry too much about the haters or who you're gonna offend. At the end of the day, you got to do what you think is right and what you think is going to promote your brand.
100%. And I think, my former coworker and friend Corin McCallum would always say to me, "Hey man, if you walk too close to the sun, if you walk close to the sun, you're gonna get burned sometimes." And that's always resonated with me. And at BarDown, like me, I think me specifically, like I walk close to the sun. Like I do things like, wearing the Marshawn jersey.
I love
So
that.
yeah. So props to my boss Dave who thought of that idea, and I know that a couple of other coworkers on our team, a guy named Dante and Jaden, they put out together the first one where they did it in Toronto, and like Justin Bieber shared the video, and it was just this whole thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
Like if you were afraid of not doing any of that stuff, you wouldn't be where you are right now. So
yeah, man, that's a great way to put it, Caesar. I think that couldn't have said it better myself. And the reason why I've been, I think Bar Down as well, and me personally with a lot of my own stuff I do is because I kind of take that step that maybe some people wouldn't feel comfortable taking. Like for example, at a company called Renfrew, like Renfrew Hockey Tape. They're one of the biggest hockey tape makers in the world.
cool.
And they, a lot of brands will come to you and say, "Hey, we have a campaign. Um, we need you to do something that kind of aligns with the campaign they're working on." It's like, okay. But Renfrew, to their credit, just said, "Just do something that's going to get the word out about Renfrew Hockey Tape." I'm like, okay. So I wore hockey tape as clothing against my bare skin.
No.
Yeah, man, I'll send it to you after C's. I walked
Oh
around.
my God.
I walked around downtown Toronto just wearing hockey tape as clothes. It was like flame tape, skull tape, green tape. And then that's the first half of the video. And the second half of the video is taking the tape off my bare skin. And I'm telling you right now, it was one of the most painful experiences of my life. Like hair, I'm not a hairy guy, but like my armpit hair just
Dude,
oh,
I
it was
could just
crazy, man.
imagine, just even if you don't have the hair in that area, just taking any piece of tape that sticks onto you that well is gonna be insanely painful.
So it's kind of like yeah. Man, it was very very painful. It was, I guess, like imagine getting a wax without any hair on your body. So that's essentially what it was. Sees. So it was, yeah, it was very, like that. That's kind of what when I say like I kind of play the line a little bit. Like that's something that maybe people wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable doing, but I was like, screw it, let's do it.
That's awesome. And I think that's what makes you so great and unique on these platforms, especially TikTok and all this stuff. Like people love that, because a lot of people don't have the balls to do it, right?
Yeah.
And you do. And that's what makes it awesome.
Thanks, man.
Um, and so question, your social media or your energy on social media with bar count videos, um, how did you find your voice and turn that into a media career? Like, what helped you decide that you know what? Because I know you went to Winnipeg University, right?
I went to the University of Winnipeg for 2 years, and then I went to Toronto. I switched. I made the move to Toronto to go to Toronto Metropolitan University, where I was in a communications program. And
Okay.
then so TMU is known for one of their programs. It's their RTA program, Radio and Television Arts program, and they specifically opened one up for sports. And once I saw it, I was like, okay, I think I need to just like give this a shot. So I ended up enroll. The enrollment process was like so bizarre. You had to make, what do you have to do? You have to write an essay about why you should get in. You had to make a 3-minute video of why you should get into the program. And then they gave you 7 or 8 different questions, just these bizarre questions. Like the first question was, you have to write an essay on this. It was, you have a lawnmower, a DVD copy of Romeo and Juliet, a potato gun, and you're at a baseball diamond, like make a sport out of it, like just
Oh,
like
cool.
bizarre stuff to like kind of test your creativity, I guess. So you only have to pick one of them. I picked the question, if you could bring one sport back to the Roman Colosseum, which one would you bring back and why?
That's a
And my
good.
yeah, my dad, I remember my dad helped me with it too. We like kind of locked our heads together and felt like what would be a good idea, and we ended up going with rodeo. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where it all started. And then while I was in school, it's a whole other story of how I got my internship at TSN. But as we were there, we started making more video content with the quizzes. And, you know, I at first I kind of saw myself in school as a producer type. I thought I was going to be someone kind of like, you know, being in a studio, producing, like helping create shows. But, you know, I've always had like a funny, I mean, people have always, I think, found my character to be like a little out there and goofy and fun. So once I actually got an opportunity to show what my personality was like, I kind of recognized that people enjoyed consuming my personality. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for this. And here we are.
Nice. What's one thing that fans don't realize about working in sports media that you wish they knew?
Um, oh, good question. Well, I mean, I think everyone knows it's a lot of fun, of course, but it is an absolute grind. I mean, it is a grind, and it requires a lot of sacrifices. I had to sacrifice a lot of my social energy as a result of my job. I was working weekend nights and then mornings. I didn't really have much of a social life. I had a, you know, as I was through university, I had a really great girlfriend who supported me a lot while I was doing all that stuff. And now I've different partner who I actually met at the World Juniors in Gothenburg a couple years ago.
Okay. Cool.
And she's just a huge light in my life, very supportive of me and understands what I need to do to do my job. It, you know, the hours, the look, I've had partners who have not, you know, been aligned with my lifestyle and what I do. And I think it's really important in this industry to surround yourself with people who are going to support you unconditionally. I've had a partner who, you know, who just like didn't get it and like didn't understand what I needed to do. I've had multiple partners that just like have not really bought into what I needed to do. And for them, it's like, if that's not what they want, if that's not what they're looking for in a partner, and that's not what they're willing to buy into, then that's totally fine. But um, yeah, I think it's really important to surround yourself with the right people, because there are challenges that are constantly being sent your way in this industry, and it's all about having the right people to help you get through them.
I totally agree. And, you know,
Yeah,
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shout out to my friends and family who've always been supportive of me and have never given me a limitation, right? You know, those people would drive you to keep going.
exactly.
And I think that's really important. Um, so you devote your time to coaching Special Olympics, floorball, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Kind of go into how you got into that. How have the Special Olympics been a big part of your life?
So so growing up, I did some work with different programs in Winnipeg. One of my best friends, still such a good friend of mine. There's actually a hockey tournament last week to help raise money for the program that he's a part of called the Grow Program in Winnipeg. Shout out to the Grow Program. And his name's Benji, and we you know, we were so close growing up, and be playing in this hockey tournament with him last week was so special. Like literally on the ice with him, it was amazing. And my friends and I were always very close with Benji, and that's where I think I kind of just learned, um, you know, that's where I was first in the presence, I guess, of someone with intellectual disabilities, and understood like, you know, how to maybe act with someone with an intellectual disability or something like that. And I just loved it. Benji and his family are so great, and it was just so being around them so much, it created like a really warm feeling in me. Um, and my brothers and all my friends. So then years later, I was actually asked very last minute to host an event at Pinehurst Golf Course to raise money for the Special Olympics. And there weren't really athletes there, but it was a bunch of people who were like paying to go on this trip, and the money would all go to Special Olympics Canada. So I go on the trip, and I'm just around the people who work at Special Olympics Canada on this trip, and they were so nice. They were so great. The vibes were so high all the time. I work a high stress job. I'm like, you know what? This would be an absolutely incredible thing to get a part of. So I signed up to be a coach. I started coaching in 2019, right before COVID, and I just loved it right away. Loved it. I still coach today. I've been coaching for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I coach floor hockey. I'm so honored to say that I've covered 2 World Games. I covered Special Olympics World Games in Berlin in 2022.
That must have been an awesome moment.
Yeah, sorry, that was in 2023. It was incredible. I loved it. And then in 2025, recently, I was just in Turin, Italy, to cover the Special Olympics there. And there was another big event that I'd covered as well. I think, I covered the Canada Games in Calgary. I think that was 2024. And, Special Olympics is just, it's just like, it's really just a feeling. Like it's just an amazing feeling to be a part of it. My athletes, I consider some of the most, some of them are like, I so look forward to just showing up to floor hockey when I can. There are practices that I have to miss because my work schedule is so crazy.
Right.
But I just want to, shout out to like the athletes and the parents who come and support the athletes, but the coaches as well, who I really look up to, like more than most people in my life, like put the work in every week unconditionally to make sure that the athletes are having a great time. And yeah, like when I walk in, like there's a couple of my athletes, like one of my athletes, Seth, it's like I walk in, I get the biggest hug from him. It's like,
It's the
man,
best moment, right?
it's the best, man. Dude, what do you think? What are we talking about the whole time? We're just talking about the
Right.
Leaf. We're just talking about the Leafs.
So it's crazy because I've also been in the coaching and I guess club or
Yeah,
I coach high school football. I coached high school basketball.
it's awesome.
And just it's rewarding when you see those kids, you know, make something of their life other than just being a sports athlete. I think last year I ran into one of my former students. He's like, "Hey, coach," I haven't seen him in years, and he's like, "It's so good to see you. I got my GED. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." And dude, he's like, "Thank you for inspiring me and keep me going." And that's just nothing better than to hear that from somebody that you touched and help them make something of themselves, right? That just makes it all worth it.
It gives you perspective. It gives you a lot of perspective, man. Like Caesar, for that guy to come up to you and tell you that like you've been an inspiration for him, and like even like all these years later, it shows like, man, like you really had an incredible impact on this student's life. And it's the best feeling, man. I totally agree. Coaching in any sport, whether it's whatever it is, it's helping develop people and lighting something in them that they're not going to forget.
Yeah, so it kind of leads me into this question. How have athletes you coach taught you about perspective and resilience?
Oh my goodness. Like I think one thing that we often learn, and this could be applied to any coaching, but I know in Special Olympics we say that like the athletes learn from us, but we learn so much from the athletes. I remember, like, almost get emotional talking about this. I was like in the dumps in not this past November, but the November before. Had just a brutal breakup with just like it was just a dark stage. Yeah.
Right?
And yeah, it was just like things were just not good for me this specific week. And I walk into the gym and all my athletes just come up to me and give me a hug. Biggest smiles on their faces, man. Like best ever. And one of the athletes, he's the 70-year-old man. His name is George. And George he had a collection of pucks with him. And he comes up to me, and I think he knew I was down. And one of our athletes, his name's Brian, he had passed away in the summer before this happened.
Wow.
And he was George's best friend. And George came up to me and he said, "Jesse, these pucks belong to Brian. They're very important to me, and I want you to have one." And man, like I almost broke down crying. Like it was unbelievable, man. So to just show that like the perspective I really get is like no matter what a lot of athletes in the Special Olympics face their own adversity, but you know what they always show up with every Thursday when they walk into that gym? A smile on their face every time. And like that inspires me. That's why I love going back, because like I could be faced with the toughest situation, man. Life can seem like it's so hard. Think of my athletes, man. Some of my athletes who go through a lot of adversity on their own, and like, haven't necessarily been dealt the same deck as everyone, but they are always smiling, man. Always great attitudes. And that has been one of the most important life lessons for me, is no matter what you're faced with, you got to just know that like perspective is everything. You got to just show up with a smile.
Yep. And it kind of leads me to one of my favorite quotes of all time from Vince Lombardi. Confidence is contagious, and so is a lack of confidence. Yeah. So you seeing the confidence in the kids, it's infectious, right? It makes you want to be that confident, and then vice versa, like the confidence they see in you, they want to be confident. So we could use that every day, and that's what I use in my life every day. So that's awesome. That's a great story. That's unbelievable. So let's kind of get into, we're going to play a little word association game here. All right. We're going to use 3 words to describe, well, I'm going to give you 2 players on each team. And you're going to use 3 words to describe each player. You ready?
Okay.
All right. First one, Connor Hellebuyck.
MVP.
Okay. I like that. Mark Scheifele.
A resilient warrior.
Perfect. Austin Matthews.
Give me a second here. Not there yet.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Yeah. Toronto fans.
Yet.
Yep. Mitch Marner.
Out of there.
Yes.
Maybe to Florida, actually. That's what I keep seeing.
No.
I keep seeing Marner rumors to the Panthers.
I know. And it's scary. But we'll get that at. Brad Marchand.
A lovable rat.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Last but not least, Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh my goodness.
See, I told you it would be hard.
I'm going to keep this one simple and say playing through something.
Okay. That's awesome. So let's kind of talk a little bit about your experience here of being in the Stanley Cup final here these last 2 games. What an epic series, right? And it's probably one of the best that I can remember in like the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, I have to pinch myself to remind myself that I was at those first 2 games, like literally, and not just at the first 2 games, like rubbing shoulders with some of the biggest people in the hockey world. Like, you go to the Stanley Cup, like this is the Mecca. Like these are like the biggest people in hockey are at this event. And I'm sitting up there with like Craig Button and Mark Masters, who are 2 TSN legends, like Pierre LeBrun, Chris Johnson are also up there, Michael Russo from The Athletic. And just being surrounded by greatness while watching these games and seeing all these people prepare their pieces, what they're going to be doing, saying about the games, amazing. Being in the media room has been an amazing experience as well. I've had the pleasure of asking a couple good ones. I don't know if you saw, Caesar, the yes. answer that Bennett made about the Dairy Queen, the Blizzard that Marchand was eating during overtime. I actually asked that question. I don't know if you can hear my voice in the background there.
Do you remember what the answer was for the folks that haven't watched it?
So basically, it was in overtime. So I just said, like, what are you eating between periods? And what's the weirdest thing that someone ate? And what's your recovery looking like? And then Bennett goes, I think Marshy ate a Blizzard. And then I followed up and I said, what kind? He said, I think it was an Oreo. And then I said, was there any honey in it? right? Because that was the whole thing, is that he said he actually just
Yeah.
eats honey. And then they just laughed. And then March was just like, that's a nice plug. So yeah. So yeah. It's been, sometimes in your industry, you got to pinch yourself and just remind yourself like what you're doing. You know, it's very easy to get to kind of just get caught up in the moment and not really fully grasp what you're doing. But to be at the Stanley Cup final, to watch Connor McDavid make that pass to Leon Draisaitl in person,
What an
and
unbelievable play, right?
incredible. Like that was a peak Connor McDavid moment, and to just be there to watch it, surrounded by so many legendary hockey people. I look behind me, Ryan Getzlaff's like in the box behind me because I think he works for the Oilers. I think I could be wrong. And I also, like, I was in the bathroom and like Roberto Luongo is just like in the bathroom, like in the press box, obviously, because everyone has to share. Like, it's just been crazy, man. It's been a wild experience. I'm going back to Edmonton, and it's been an honor, man. It's just such an honor, and I've loved it, and it's goosebumps. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
What's the biggest or one of the greatest advice you've gotten from a media personnel in general? Somebody from the media.
Hmm. I think like at the Stanley Cup or just in general.
Just at the Stanley Cup or in general.
I think I don't know. I feel like I've been told before, just like don't listen to the haters. Mark Matt. I had something happen with me. Like I had one weird experience once, and Mark Masters just said to me, like, just keep doing you, Jesse. Like, don't you're doing good stuff. You're asking good questions. Like, just always keep doing you. And I appreciated that about him. Because sometimes you can feel down when certain things happen in your industry. So yeah, I really appreciated that about him. But my advice to anyone else working in media is just, you got to just filter. You got to just plug out the haters, man. Like they're such, and a lot of them are not even real people. They're just bots. But like there is so much toxic, crazy stuff. Like I remember Caesar. I'll say one thing. So this is when Four Nations happened, which was a whole other tournament, which is all a
What
crazy thing.
what a great event too, by the way. I can't wait till the Olympics. It's
Incredible, great for hockey. The Olympics are going to be crazy. The Four Nations specifically, also, all obviously with all the political stuff happening in between Canada and the United States, heightened things. So, look, this is just who I am. I made a video saying that I thought it was a bad look on Canadians to be booing the American national anthem, and I got absolutely roasted for it, man. And it was just like people were saying the most unimaginable things to me, like probably on the verge of getting, not death threats necessarily, but like people were just saying, like, I think someone said, like, I hope you get hit by a bus or something, like all this insane stuff. And like, look, that's just not my style to boo any national anthem. Like there are some things
same.
to me that need to be, yeah, some things like a flag, a national anthem, like those things kind of need to be held. They're kind of sacred for me. And people were just like ripping me. So like, as long as you believe in what you're saying and you know that like you don't think what you're saying is, because in actuality, man, that's really, what I said wasn't really offensive to anyone, then like just stick to what you believe in and
Yeah.
say what you feel is right.
Nope, I agree. And well said. And it comes with the territory, unfortunately. Um, but you've done an amazing job continuing to not let that hurt your work. And I think everybody truly respects you and enjoys everything that you do.
Thanks,
I
man.
have a question here too. If the Jets ever win the cup in your lifetime, have you already planned on how you're going to celebrate or destroy your vocal cords?
uh you know what, man, like I try to never get like too far ahead with this stuff. I've of course imagined what it would be like if the Jets won the cup. I literally have started like tearing up at the idea of it, because it would just mean so much to the city. The Winnipeggers deserve a cup. Like it's such great fans here. have always supported the team really well. And attendance numbers, people can say what they want about attendance numbers. I
Oh,
don't
we've been
really.
there. We've been
Yeah,
there in Florida, so we
yeah,
know.
yeah. And I don't like. I don't think that it's as much of a reflection. It's not a reflection of the product of the team because we're putting out good teams. It's just I think the economic situation in Winnipeg is maybe a little different than it is in other provinces in cities or like Manitoba or Florida's so big and the Panthers are going to they should have more than enough people to get the fans. There's money in Florida, all this stuff. It's not really like that as much in Winnipeg. Like it's just not really, our arena only holds 16,000 people. So less than 16,000 people. So the city of Winnipeg deserves it. The organization deserves it. I mean, the organization, I think Shovel Dayoff has one of the hardest jobs in hockey. It'd be amazing if a team like Winnipeg could win. Think about, and there's a whole other conversation, C's, but like Florida is an extremely desirable place to play, right? Like
Right.
right now specifically, and I know it hasn't always been that way, but specifically right now, I mean, they have a great team that they put together. Shout out to the Panthers, by the way. It's incredible what they've done from ownership to management to coaching to the roster personnel. Like
Yeah.
it needs to be studied what this team has been able to do. Um,
And shout out to Bill Zito. What an amazing
yeah,
job. The
yeah,
acquisitions he did during the trade deadline. I mean, unbelievable. I don't know how he didn't win GM of the year last year, but
yeah,
he's got my vote this year again. So
yeah. He's amazing. He's building himself a Hall of Fame resume, and yeah, I mean, there's also the stuff with the taxes are different in Florida, and there's warm weather in Winnipeg. Not great. Like we're not close to a place like Miami. Okay, the nightlife isn't exactly anything special. It's freezing cold here in the winter. Okay, taxes are brutal in Canada. Even though your dollar goes a long way in Winnipeg with an American salary, it goes a long way in Winnipeg. You could live like a king in Winnipeg, but there's still Canadian taxes. And even with all this, Kevin Shoveldayoff has managed to retain so many players he drafted on reasonable contracts. Mark Scheifele making $8.5 million. He played like a $10 million player this year. Like
unbelievable.
Kyle Connor's been making less than $8 million. That's going to change, but like Winnipeg's done a really good job at retaining its players. And I also just think personally, I would love to see a Stanley Cup in Winnipeg because I have put a lot of sweat and tears into this team and have taken a lot of abuse from fans about this team. And no matter what fans have ever said to me, I've always stuck with it. I'm people know who I am. I'm from Winnipeg. I'm a proud Jets fan. Nothing changes that. And to be able to watch our team hoist the Stanley Cup would like light something in me that I can't even find the right word for it yet because it hasn't happened. But I'm sure when it does happen, I'll know what word to use.
No, I'm the same way with you. I never thought I would see a Stanley Cup here in my lifetime. So you guys are heading in the right direction. Got Hollebuck, Shifley. You guys have a good core, and I think the sky is the limit for you guys next year. Um,
Thanks, Steve.
Continue rooting for your team. Continue doing the stuff that you're doing. It will happen. You have to believe it will
Thanks,
happen.
man. Thanks, man. And you know what? I actually asked Paul Maurice about that because last year he made the comment about Winnipeg, right? And about, like he wants to see them win the cup. And then a year later, I said, you made a comment about Winnipeg, wanting to see Winnipeg make a Stanley Cup. They didn't quite get there. What are your words for the people of Winnipeg, and what do you think they need to do to get over the hump? And he said, well, you know what? The President's, you know what? Florida won the President's Trophy a couple years ago, and look at where
Yeah.
they are now. And he said, Winnipeg's good for hockey. They're a great story, and they're close. So we got to just stick to it, and hopefully our time will come.
Yep. No, it sometimes it takes the adversity the to get to where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
So no, I agree. I agree, Jesse. No, it's been such an honor to have you on the show. I really appreciate it. Um, Before I let you go, I built this platform or this podcast so I can share their story on how sports in general has impacted their life in a positive way. Do you have any message for anybody out there and how sports has made you the person that you are?
Yeah. I mean, it's sports are incredible because in the grand scheme of things, are sports life or death situations? No, they're not. Does it still invoke feelings in us that are different than anything else in our lives? Yes. It's like, man, I'm telling you, like every spring when March Madness comes around, not even a huge college basketball guy, but when March Madness comes around, it's like a turn of the tide. It's like we are here. Like this is the greatest time of the year. We got madness into NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. We got the drafts coming up, the Masters. It just invokes this feeling of like hope and like joy. And I think just like sports are something that, as seriously as we take them, they shouldn't be taken too seriously. And we got to just enjoy the ride with all the sports, right? And wear your passion on your sleeve. Don't be an asshole about it. and know the line.
Unless it's the biz.
Is that yeah. Well, I'll leave that one with you, C's. I'll leave that one with you.
Okay.
Busy boy.
Busy boy.
So good. But yeah, just make sure that I know things can get serious. I know it can bring out a lot of emotions in people, but just remember to enjoy sports because they're there really for entertainment. So I love sports. Could not imagine my life without it.
Same here.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Jesse. Where can people find you on any platform?
So you can find me on well, talk about BarDown. You can find BarDown on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and X, and we're always posting fun content from there. For me, it's the same thing. Jesse Pollock 22 is my handle for Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, it's just I just love making content, love making people laugh, love making people smile, love creating conversation. So yeah, Caesar, I really appreciate you having me, man. That was a really nice conversation. We'll be in
I
touch,
loved
of
it.
course. We'll be in
And
touch, of course, man.
if you're ever down in Florida, we definitely have to link up. If you're down here for Game 6, we'll do something together. Get the
Oh
fans
yeah.
riled up, right?
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. We will definitely be linking up at Game 6. And yeah, dude, you keep doing great things, man, because I really say, man, like your passion is it fires me up, man. Like I see your videos and I'm like, let's go. Like I see you just wear your heart on your sleeve, and not everyone in our industry is like that. You're like that. I'm like that. Someone like Biz is like that, and like I just respect it, man. So let's get it going here. Good luck to your Panthers.
Thank you.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna go the distance this series. This
Same.
is gonna go down as one of the better. Just when I thought last year couldn't get topped, last year was great, but like this year is gonna be a little more back and forth, and
Yep.
just enjoy it, man.
Oh, I am. Every
Yeah.
moment. Like I always say, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. Let's go, Cats.
Let's go, baby. I love it. Wow, I just gave you goosebumps.